What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki. We are live. Bocce Bros, pull up. As always, we're gonna hop right into this new chapter. Skip the One Piece chapter. We don't need to read that right now. Yep. Ichi the Witch was good this week. Kyoshi Exorcist is still Kyoshi Exorcist. Hey, what up, Mello? First in the chat this week. You said you missed last week. Had to pull up right on time this week. Appreciate you, homie. Chapter 119. The Irishima Talks, Part 3. We cooking, bro. All right, so we starting off with the shot of the prince. Or whoever he was. They got his throat slashed last week. We don't know if he was a prince. To me, he seemed like he was supposed to be royalty. That's how I look at them. All right. Our ancestors, the Mikaboshi, once ruled the land of Japan. But we lost power when the Soga clan led a devastating insurrection. Okay, a little more context, little more context. On the island where the Mikaboshi took refuge, they encountered an unusual stone. Desperately, they prayed and prayed for their descendants to live in peace forevermore. And we see, Tiger Blaster, what up, what up? Ukizane. All right. Even as the Soga clan's hero, Ukizane Soga annihilated the entire island. Hey, yo! Okay, so we had some... Even without the enchanted blades, we were doing some wild things. I see. And, all right, we get a nice little image here of the Datsenseki and the island splintering. It's interesting. He's got like an orb above his head, plus he's a samurai with a sword. As the king of the Mikaboshi sank into the ocean, the stone answered their prayers. With powers conferred by the stone in the darkness of the ocean floor, he created a country for us alone. Okay. So they're basically like lived in darkness. Yeah, it's already looking like that, bro. From the another banger for show. All right, so we got them conferencing. On land, the Soga clan and their retainers flourished, while the sacred stone hid us from our enemies. Now, it's just you. All right, old man, you are a Soga, aren't you? What if I am? Oh, I was right. The man whose throat you just slit is Aryu Mikaboshi, my son and the crown prince of the Mikaboshi. Alright, Toga, Shiba, let him know. You had already killed the 2 Japanese. You ignored our warnings and met us with hostility. We merely acted in self-defense. Yeek. But there's no need for more death on either side. We want to send the delicate home alive. If your son is the crown prince, you must be king. I have no more to say to you. What? Oh, and there's the delicate, his eyes bleeding out. What? I came to bear witness. All right. And the prince is active, and we see a hole blown in Mashiro. Dune inspiration is unavoidable in this one. I believe it. No way. Them Mashiro stocks, man. You wasted your ambush on me? It's crazy how even back then the Sogas don't stop till the job's done. Man! And then we see Mashiro using, like, looks like fucking a quadruple pressure shot. All right, everybody's moving in. Wait a second. Oh yeah, because there's the prince is visible on the couch, but in the reflection, he's attacking Mashiro. All right. Good. Because when I'm reading these on stream, I'm always like trying to juggle chat plus the chapter. So that's why he's like, no way. Okay. Hard. All right. So he's got hard. Okay. He's got some defensive measures. He can still move. Take a rest, which is obviously Shiba talking to Mashiro. I thought Hiroto finished him. That ambush was insane. How on earth? Kurotsuchi. All right, we locked them in place. As a general principle, sorcery uses the body of the wielder as its substrate. The sorcery passed down through the Soga male line demands exceptionally advanced physical skills, developed through extreme physical conditioning and swordplay. All right. This weight and the black sphere behind him. The power that sank our ancestors into this ocean. Hiroto Soga, the only living practitioner of Kurotsuchi's sorcery. Alright. Which I'm assuming is black hole sorcery. I don't speak Japanese. Alright. Are we about to pull an EI technique? Oh, no, we're just altering the direction. Yo, what up, anime all day? Do it. See, all right. So we got. See, I'm a big fan of gravity power, so I'm already behind this. I'm with this. So we're trying to pin the prince to the ground. It's okay. We still on page 12, 13. Oh yeah, that's right. I drank all my coffee. We must not go hungry. Hey, what up, Cameron Bailey? If nobody got me, Cameron Bailey got me. We must not allow the enemy to seize the stone. So as we're sitting here watching Mashiro bleed out, homeboy is talking. Ain't nothing more alarming than any series, any manga, any anime, any show. Like a decapitated head saying things to you, man. They promised. Yeah, so I feel like the Magatsumi is like there as a reflection of the Soga clan's power at this point. Like that, the Shinichi just seems to like really drive in. So it feels like the Shinichi grabbed the Soga clan's powers, like absorbed his sorcery into it, whereas like some of the other enchanted blades seem to fully replace her sorcery. The Shunichi seems to, like, because it absorbs life, have also grabbed the sorcery of the first user. Oh, I was thinking of what's his name? Hirahuko. When he got his head chopped off and it ended up being an illusion of Kumayori. Oh yeah, the other dude that was because I was thinking of the illusions, but you're right, the guy that was like made from the barrier, or the guy that couldn't pee. I forget his name right now, but he was like, Yura says I'm the strongest, so it must be true. Our enemy is the Soga clan and those who prosper under the auspices. Okay, so they've been living off eating bugs. We must not starve. We must not allow the enemy to seize the stone. The power of the Datenseki is fundamental to our civilization. The Mikaboshi born here are born with an innate affinity for the Datenseki. Among us are 6 guardians chosen from pure-blooded Mikaboshi. By their prayers and blood, they bear the original power once wielded by the Mikoboshi king. Reconstruction of the environment. That divine power transforms a place devoid of light and air into a space for human survival. It reaches a realm far beyond mere fortification magic. The Guardians can draw upon the true realm of the Datsenseki. Sumika. And then we see, dripped out in Centipede. So, based on this shot, okay. So based on this shot, just go ahead. Okay, so dwelling, residence, or living place. Okay, cool. We cool. So one, the reason why the Mikoboshi like not only had insects, but now it's kind of clear the only thing they had to eat really was insects for in like the sustenance from the stones themselves. Two, of course, the Datsenseki isn't just yeah, we're gonna get into that six chosen thing. Um, of course, it's not just a weapon. If they were able to pray to it, they revered it as such. We see that, like I said, they made the the lactation ship out of it. So, man, they are. So what this tells me though is that the only thing that was really growing there was the which okay. So this also tells me there's a lot of things that this tells me. So first out here, let me focus on one thing at a time because my brain is like trying to go all over the place. First things first, insects were already tied to the Mikoboshi, but I'd wager now that outside of like preserving the humans, insects were some of the only things that could actually grow and live in the like the underground island. Because you got very few things. It's underwater at the end of the day. It's not, they have no sunlight, so it's not like they have the space for plants to really grow either. So they likely had to live in harmony with or off of the bodies of insects, which is why he's drinking insect broth. Um, I'd also say that anybody who died probably ended up like their soul fuels the Datsenseki. But then, of course, we see that there's six chosen, and then we get the enchanted blades as well. Uh, which to me indicates that like full sentience within the Datsenseki, which means the Datsenseki could very well end up being like the final boss, but the Datsenseki has sentience, which means something about the way that the Mikoboshi operates during this battle will lead to the Datsenseki being willing to choose people in Japan as well, and to basically take a more neutral stance in the war. More than likely, the Mikoboshi are going to commit some crime within their own system that leads to the Datsenseki betraying them. That's how I'm looking at this right now. And what up, Blob? I don't see this as a simple the Datsun like they just figured it out. Like it could be pure blasphemy, pure them just learning how to use the stone. I'm not saying that's not possible. I just think that with the fact that there's a like strict amount of people who get chosen by the Datsenseki here, that it would make sense if the enchanted blade users are also chosen by Datsenseki, not just people who like happen to be chosen by Kunishiki Rokuhira. Uh, this also, because this is something that I was thinking about this week, and if I had more time and I wasn't, going door to door doing sales and shit or whatever, trying to get people to buy internet, probably would have done like a short on this. But I think it's interesting that enchanted blades, if you are already an enchanted blade user, like in the case of, and maybe this is only for Chihiro, but the Enten allowed him, while being contracted to it, to also wield the Koregumo, or Cloud Gouger, which means you can have multiple enchanted blades contract to one person, even if you don't get to have, your sorcery anymore. This is the other reason why I don't think necessarily that Koregumo has to go to Natsuki. Like it doesn't like Chihiro doesn't have to give Natsuki the Koregumo, right? He can just keep it for himself, and he's carried two swords most of the series anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how sentient the Datsetseki is, right? Like, is it somewhat sentient in the sense that it'll respond to wishes but doesn't have an allegiance? Did it? Is it just about willpower? Datsetseki is currently like the most interesting character in the series now. Not most interesting character, but its mechanics are absurdly fascinating because I want to know just how like nuanced its response is. Did it give like the six enchanted blades because that was Kunishige's own understanding of it, and as his understanding grew, he realized he didn't have to adhere to the six blades. Like, how did we? So yeah, um, I like the. So this is one thing that I will say is that I saw a discussion on OCs recently, and how it was interesting that you don't see a lot of OCs for the Kagurabachi world. And I think part of that is because a lot of the story is centered around the enchanted blades more than base sorcery. And so when that isn't explored as much, it's harder to make an OC because you can't justify giving your OC an enchanted blade, right? Like it's not possible. There's such strict rules around those that like you can't insert yourself into the world with an EB without going full blown AU. And a lot of people like to, at least at this stage of a story, have their character just kind of be like a background in the functioning world. Um, but with what we're seeing here with the Datsenseki and the way it responds and how it was nice enough to respond, like, because if you think about it, the reason why I think that the Datsenseki has at least some form of allegiance or like an actual will and thought process to itself is specifically because if Soga is actively destroying this island and his will is to just wipe all these people out, the Datsenseki could have chosen. Here's my OC. His name is Hirohiko. He has pink hair and he is a rival to Chihiro. He has a sad backstory, but he isn't winning against Chihiro for themes and such. Is this a good OC, guys? I think your OC is rather creative. Oh, you're taking more pictures, baby girl. Good job. You keep doing that. Mommy and Daddy were looking at cameras to get you so you can start having your own pictures printed up. In chapter 66, the first time we hear about the war, the first time specifically, they say the royal family was deposed by the people after the war. Is it possible they lost faith in the stone? See, that's the thing, right? It makes sense if they lost faith in the stone, right? But I also think that the Datsenseki, I think the Datsenseki was on their side, genuinely. I think the Datsenseki was genuinely on their side. We're going to find out. I can't imagine that we don't find out that the Datsenseki is alive on some level. But, so yeah, I do think that the people of the island are going to feel abandoned. But I do think that there has to be something at play here. Oh yeah, you can always DM me on Discord if it's telling you like if you have to request, just send me a friend request and I'll make sure. But yeah, shoot it my way. Um, I see it, baby girl. You taking pictures of the world too? Did you take a? Oh, using different features on the camera now. You taking motion pictures, little baby? Okay. And remember what Chihiro told Sojo: the blades choose you as well. Yeah. So this is the thing: is that between the True Realm and like the flexibility of the Datsun Seki we're getting, because this is like a major lore drop, right? Like, yeah, we're learning more about the culture of the Mikaboshi. We're learning more about like the original incident that led to the war being as hot as it is. But we're learning a lot about Datsun Seki right now, which means we're about to. This is kind of like when you play a video game and you hit a room and you're like, oh snap, there's a lot of ammo in here. Oh man, whoa, is this a grenade? Oh snap, yeah man, like oh this is like 100 bullets. We're about to get something big. Like, and this is already big, but this is going to be way bigger than anything we've thought about before. Because when you're looking at, you know, the fact that we're learning so much about the culture of these people, the way and why it was so important for the Datsun Seki, only for us to know for sure that inevitably Japan is able to leverage this too. I don't like I don't think calling the Datsun Seki a god is a mistake. I think that it has a will. Whether or not it's like one will, or if as you break the stones apart, each becomes like its own thing. For example, like I'm a League of Legends player. In the original lore for Malphite, the character was originally a part of like a giant living mountain, and then like a shard of that mountain broke off, and he ended up moving around independently of that said mountain, like as his own entity. But originally it was like one big hive mind. So if you tell me that once the Datsun Seki gets mined, it splinters off, and then that's kind of how you, because we even see that different people in the clan who are chosen have Datsun Seki stones on their necklace, right? And so if somebody within the Mikaboshi starts to not feel or like the way of the clan, that could splinter the will because they're still close through resonance. And then we end up with the Datsun Seki being willing to like liberate, right? Let's say, because at the end of the day, we have a crown prince. And notice, everybody else is wearing hoods. Everybody else is like very, like, yeah, like even people who have to wear eye covers, right? We have all these things that like subtly hide the individuality of the people who are on the guards outside of the prince. So if we only have individuality, if we only emphasize like a small group of people, they're also like you also run into the issue of if you're not allowed. But that's the thing, right? If the princes are able to see the light and handle the light, that means he's either been outside more or there's something else at play. And so there's definitely a class system within the Mikaboshi on that island as well. They even mentioned like this pure blooded and non pure blooded, which means that everybody who is in there is likely not full blooded, which means there's realistically an underclass. There's because there's very little incentive for the Mikaboshi to progress socially outside of like old school caste systems either, right? Warrior caste, like samurai class, all this other stuff that existed 1,000 years ago is likely still being lived by and adhered to in the modern day Shikoku people. So the will of the Datsun Seki, actually, when we think about it from this angle, does not have a reason to only resonate with the elites. Because the prince is very clearly giga dripped. And honestly, the prince's clothing is real. It's not all ancient. You know what I mean? There's modern flavor in here. Like silk bugs could be how they made it, but like there's a very clear class strata even amongst the Guardians, right? So if we've got the Guardians having like a class issue among, because like, and those Guardians are probably, they're probably hot shit, down there. They're probably, the guys, right? Like everybody has to respect the Guardians, woody woo. But we can see the prince. His face gets to be shown. He gets to experience the surface world. He gets to experience the light. So there's got to be some caveats socially that if the Detsenseki is just resonating with wills. So maybe even if it's not resonating with or necessarily choosing directly, if it's just about having a strong enough will to resonate with the stone, similar to like the Hogyoku. Uh, Shoot, you could tell me Hiroto died this chapter. Like, you could tell me he died like this because that looks a bit like a blood splatter. By the way, I just got to vent this real quick. Yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I saw like super fresh roadkill. It was disturbingly gross. Uh, like I couldn't even tell what animal it was because it got ran over so hard. Um, and then a bus turned the corner, and I like watched it drive over the fleshy mound and stretch it out even further. And I was like, oh my god, it was yeah, it was a sight to see. I'm seeing a lot of random dead animals lately. But yeah, that's beside the point. Just had to get that out of my system because the splatters here made me think of that once I started talking about that. Yeah, it's one thing to see roadkill. It's another thing to like watch somebody actively drive over it and drag it out. It's like, oh, ugh. Like I was leaving for work and I just saw two random dead rats yesterday too. They didn't even look like they got whooped. It's so weird. Look, if Mashiro gets to walk this off, I look, like I said, Mashiro stocks, they're fine right now, but there's gonna come a point where we gotta sell, man. There's no way this man makes it through this flashback. I just can't see it. Bro, he got a hole blown in him. And Shiba was like, take a rest. Uh, Bro said, take five. It's like when the coach was like, all right, you're a star player. We got to take you out for a bit because you took a hit. We're going to get you back off the bench. And I do think Mashiro's going to try to get off the bench. I just think that when you have a hole through your spleen, which I do think that's. So, okay, this is a small detail that I actually like. Is that a lot of mangaka do a really good job of having people get damaged in their spleen area. Because you can live after a splenectomy, but like. I just think it's funny that like they take the time to remember that like, oh, like left side towards the top, that's like spleen-ish area, so that's where we'll have a lot of these wounds be. And then let's see. I think my show probably lie, and this also explains how the Soga clan had so much control over the sorcery world and the government itself. Um, yeah, the Soga clan is just wiped. So that's the other thing too, right? Is that we get almost no talks on the Soga clan, and that leads me to believe one that the Soga clan was wiped during this war. Uh, which I mean that makes sense, right? Between the Mikaboshi themselves and like, because the Mikaboshi are gonna want to wipe the Soga clan, and that's why I don't think like Chihiro's mom is alive somewhere. She was a Soga clan member. She's dead. You could also argue that's why Kunishika Rokuhira and Chihiro were together, like because you could have separated the two, right? You could have been like, all right, we're gonna have your son going to hiding, you going to hiding somewhere else. But they're like, no, nah, we're gonna keep them together, just keep them separate. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I'm thinking that it's a mix of the two. I think there's traitors in the Mikaboshi, and I think there's traitors in the Soga clan. Because I think at the end of the day, like the real history is going to show that both parties are full of shit. I mean, yeah, we do have the boring option available, but I feel like if they had just fallen off or been disgraced as a clan, somebody would have like because I'm trying to figure, it would be very Japanese storytelling for if the Soga clan had just become washed for somebody to just casually shit on them in part one. Like, oh yeah, them lame ass niggas, them disgraced ass niggas, them falling off ass niggas as a throwaway line, and then we're like, the who? And then it would have been like Akamura Soga would have been like, oh, fucked it up for his whole clan. So I do think they kind of get Uchiha or die out, maybe both at the same time, because I think this is going to be a war where we find out there's a lot of traitors, and because I'm standing by my Hatshaku theory, right? I stand by Hatshaku is with his bonsai sorcery has been around since the first war. Like I'm standing by Hatshaku being a Kenjaku guy. The family being deposed a year after these events tells me there are to be some anti-war faction up in here. Oh, definitely. Because people because if anytime you have a clan like the Soga clan, they usually send like one or two people, a few people, and then they protect a lot of their other folks. But I'll also say Hiroto made a rookie move. Like you see it all the time, right? People always try to do exactly what they think is enough, which is always just a form of looking down on people. Like, imagine if he had just used his gravity slash stuff here right away and just turned this dude into a splat. Like, that's the thing, right? Is I know that if I were in any of these series with a strong sorcery or anything like that, I'd be one of the characters you would hate to like see. You'd be like, oh, this fight's gonna be 3 panels. I'm just trying to kill the dude. I'm not trying to risk it. Like, oh, he looks like he's slightly incapacitated. Double tap. And maybe that's metagaming, but I don't know, man. I just feel like some of us would be a lot less interesting than others. Like the reason why Shiba's fights are almost always off screen is because he don't play. I think that's the thing. Shiba don't play. We see people like on fire and stuff, which I still like. I'm team particle sorcery for like Shiba's sorcery, particle acceleration. And so I think what really happens is, and like why we'll see him drop people and they're like fucking on fire, is that he accelerates and his sorcery like protects his body and he just doesn't protect yours. So he just grabs you and drags you, and then either he spams fall damage or he like manages to hold on to you while letting you burn. And that's it. So are the Sogas more like Uchiha or Zenin, or are they a new type of clan I can obsess over? I can't. I wouldn't liken them to the Uchiha because they clearly were a very accepted clan and they were allowed to be like in power. Which I guess you could say makes them more like the Zenin, but they don't seem to have the as much of an incest obsession as the Zenin so far. Like we don't have those incesty flavors. Like we're not hearing about trying to make Chiaki marry her cousin or anything yet. Um, Obviously there's like the nobility or the like high quality person stuff, but that's just basic classism. That's just baked into all the clans. You know what I'm saying? If you got clans, you got classism. Um, so I think this is one of those more established, you know, leaders that we're gonna watch the fall of, but we're also gonna see the fall of the Shikoku people, almost guaranteed. Because I think I think the Mikaboshi and the Soga are basically the same clan, not literally, but in the sense that I think both of them are uppity, classist, and that we're gonna see an internal betrayal from the Mikaboshi, but because of the fact that there was so this is no, we're getting obviously we're in head canon theory territory, but I look at Akamura Soga as somebody whose clan is going to have been betrayed. And that's part of where his extremism is going to come from, because I think they're going to leak where who Chiaki is, where she's at, something like that, right? And that's why we're going to see Chiaki get killed, arm on the ground, whatever, woo. But So the way I look at it is he's going to be thankful for whoever betrays the Islanders and gives them that information. But he's also going to be like, but I'm still wiping out the entire bloodline because you guys will just eventually betray whoever protects you or whoever helps you anyway. That's kind of how I see this going down, right? Like, oh, you betrayed him, and I'll use that information, but I'm erasing this entire island. And that's the other thing that alarms me, right? Is like we see all these bugs, spiders, centipedes, like pill bugs. It's all and honestly, the bugs being crushed as he like drinks the mixture. We see all these people around them. It's very likely that's a metaphor for some of the other people being sacrificed to fuel their power and make them stronger. Because you see, he's got like that black energy around him, that energy that is fueled by the burning of life. Even if it's converted into white energy later, when we see his centipede, as he's drinking from the cup, you just see all that black energy. You see that even amongst them that are floating, right? So it's hard for me to believe that the underclass or the non-royal people at this place aren't like, and it could just be the insects. I don't think the Mikaboshi have too much of an advantage, like as far as first strike goes, right? You have a bunch of people with Datsun Seki. You've planned this attack yourself. You've chosen to do this. Um, it's hard for me to imagine. Obviously, they could just be scrubs that are amped, but I mean, that's like I'd say the least interesting route you could go with that. Like people who are just scrubs, so like yeah, they lose because they're scrubs and the EBs are stronger. But if you're gonna go band for band on uranium weapons, I think we got a little more at play here, especially if the uranium weapons, you know. True, true. So, I mean, it could just be the insects, but you know, it's important to always think about like, because insects also are almost always associated with underclass people, right? Like those beneath you, insects to be crushed under your feet. These people are insignificant. They're like insects. Da 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 da. Like that is constantly a theme. And so we always have to consider the themes and such. Because nothing we've seen indicates to me that the prince or the king value the other people who were possibly killed here. Just think about it, right? The king would have just watched not only his son, but multiple guardians get killed. In theory, right? Like in theory, he watched his son plus other guardians get killed. And the only person he brings up is his son. Like, he goes, the man whose throat you just slit is Aryu Mikaboshi, my son and the crown prince of the Mikaboshi. And Shiba points out, okay, yeah, but you killed people like off rip. And we don't need to have more death. Let's talk. And then he's like, I don't even need to, like, he doesn't even want to acknowledge Shiba as a person. He's just getting his point off. He's just saying, like, look, no, I don't have anything to say to you. I'm just letting you know what happened. You just cut the prince's throat. So in his mind, the people they killed were as worth consideration as insects, right? Like no, I don't care that we killed two of your delegates. It doesn't matter. They came here to talk. I don't care. I don't care what you're talking about at all. This isn't a conversation. He's talking at them, not with them. And so if you're talking at, not with people, that's usually a reflection of how you see people's status, at least within series, obviously. So as a king, he doesn't see them as worth actually acknowledging as people. And so this is the ascension of the prince. See, and that's the thing, right? Is that I agree with you that you would think that's what it would do, but people seldom, if ever, abandon their like class ideals, right? Like if they can if they can avoid acknowledging that, they will, like almost every time. And it's weird, doesn't make sense because you would think they'd be smart enough to realize like, oh, like uh-oh. Hold on, I gotta go check on my daughter. So, like I was saying, my daughter was try to wash dishes so she could get herself a cup of water. Uh, I would have let the music play if it weren't for the fact that you always have to worry about being copyright struck if you let any music in. So, but yeah, I do think like the sorcery creates a hierarchical structure. Um, and obviously, when you have a religion that like, because when you think about it, hold on, is it still no audio, or is my chat just slightly behind? Okay, okay, there we go. Uh, which I should probably pull up. I don't wanna spend it. There we go. All right, but yeah, so when you have something like the Mikaboshi is like, oh, it responded because think about it, right? We got this is also an example of within the storytelling of how they framed this, right? About how you can tell they have like the very big superiority complex that probably led to this. As the king of the Mikaboshi sank into the ocean. So already this is kind of a red flag when you think about it, because what they're saying is is that it's because of the king that this happened. The stone answered their prayers. They don't believe that the stone could have just resonated with a couple thousand souls crying out for help, right? That's not the way they're framing this. They're framing this as, oh, the king in all his glory is the one who got us saved. And if they believe that it was the king that saved them through his prayers and the king, like, it got the stone to resonate, then it makes sense that the king himself is going to maintain that hierarchical. Like, they're going to say, we are the ones most connected to the Datsenseki. So the superiority structure is in place for sure. And then look at that. With powers conferred by the stone of the darkness of the ocean floor, he created. So even though the Datsenseki is the main amp, the main reason all this is going on, the king is on a pedestal. So if we find out that there's treachery through the clan, it won't be a surprise because they've already framed this to be a bunch of people, quite frankly, living in a shithole. Like, I don't think any of us are gonna say, "Oh, Anarchy, that's a really harsh way to describe living in a giant rock underwater for 1,000 years." Allergy season is wicked. So it's like they're in a shithole for 1,000 years, and their king is convinced he's the main reason they even get to survive, right? And so even though they're like, "Oh yeah, this was going on the surface. We know about this, blah blah blah," and like you said, Mello, they spent 1,000 years hating the Soga clan, and I do wonder how many of these people are like recently born versus extended lifespan because they live in a magical subterranean rock, right? Like, could any of these people have been around for like 3, 4, 500, possibly even 1,000 years? Because, like I said, I already think Hatshaku's been around since then. I think Hatshaku is a Mikaboshi who even escaped, possibly lived in trees and shit. We see he can teleport through trees, and we don't see any plant life. Any plant life. Maybe I'm tripping. Am I tripping, chat? Tell me if I'm tripping. But what plants do we see? Because I don't see a single plant depicted here. Just bugs and humans. And so, like, we see plants. I don't think Aryu is Hatshaku, though that would be an interesting ass twist. I'm not going to lie. I do think they're connected, though. I think this generation, like, let's say hypothetically that they have extended lifespans. You know what? Okay, hold on. My gears are turning. You ready? Hatshaku is the original king that was there, and he appears from time to time to help guide them, and he's pushing this rhetoric. And he's here in this tree right now because we see him teleporting between bonsai trees. We looked at those are bonsai trees. We know that he's popping between trees and shit. He can teleport. He's got the trees, all that other good shit. So if we operate under that, I don't think he's directly involved, but he could be, or directly like the king. But I think he's influencing them through generations to stoke that hatred. The old man is just like a descendant of his. He's a king. He is a king. Like, Hatshaku is basically like fading. Yeah, like kind of like a puppet. Like, he's the actual king in the sense that he sits on the throne. He's got the title. But they're all puppets. There's something within, like, the will of the Datsenseki is likely like what Hatshaku is after. He will destroy, sacrifice all the Mikaboshi and Japan to get whatever is like the fuel, the sentience, whether it's like some big earth spirit, like whatever the case may be. That's what his end game goal is: possessing the source of the power of the Datsenseki. Because if the Datsenseki is responding to wills, there's likely an extra, like sentience behind it. Because we have these true realms, all these other things. There's, and maybe I'm just leaning into tropes. I mean, reincarnation, yeah, that's on the table. As far as I'm concerned, like there's something to deal. Like Hatshaku has some kind of legacy tie with the Mikaboshi. Like whether he's the actual royal bloodline, whether he's a long-lived person, whether he's a reincarnated person, like maybe every time he dies, he turns into a tree, and then eventually, like the tree bears fruit, and he's reborn of it. I don't know. I mean, that'd be kind of raw. I'm not gonna lie. Like the tree had to like be grow and then like bear fruit. So like every 100 or so years, a version of Hatshaku's reborn. I don't know. That'd be kind of tight. So you have like 100 years that come around, 100 years off, 100 years on, 100 years off, things like that. But I definitely think that there's more at play here that even the Mikaboshi don't fully understand. Also, this to me confirms that Mashiro was supposed to be the weakest of the four sent. Which I mean, I kind of already got that vibe, but I just want to emphasize that I think that this specific interaction, when he says, "You wasted your ambush on me," which of the three sorceries we've seen, Mashiro's is the least out the box powerful, right? He's got like the pressure zones, the shock waves. He can apply it in clever ways, but that's not particle acceleration or fucking gravity manipulation. Like that's not on the same level. So there's also the other thing that I'm curious about is that if oh yeah, the boy is clean. He's raw. Like getting the hole punch Ninu and being like, man, I got time to talk my shit and cast a like multi-directional spell on multiple angles. That's clean. And that's the thing is right, is that I think Mashiro isn't here because of raw power. He's here because of raw technique application. Like he took the most damage because these other ones have like crazy raw power output. We haven't even seen the other Soga clans. Remember, we could assume that, but and they already said he's the only living member of the Kurotsuchi sorcery. So the other swordsmen might not even have like a proper access to his sorcery for all we know. We don't know for sure, but Mustache Soga, he could just be a simple spirit energy user, and that's all. Because even he's like, oh, hard. Everybody else is like. So Mashiro does his thing, right? Mustache Soga is like, tough. Shiba's not sweating it, and it looks like Shiba even managed to dodge the centipede attack that he launched out. I still think Hiroto might have just gotten splattered. Look, if Mashiro lives, I would say I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what's a good trade off. What is a good trade off if Mashiro lives? Man, if Mashiro lives, hmm, it's hard for me to wrap my head around him living. I'm so serious. Shit. I know I'll formally issue an apology, but Mashiro living just it's hard for me to wrap my mind around it. Yeah, I don't see the Soga brothers being alive here at all. Like they got to get packed up. If this turns like I personally see this as a largely a 1v1 with Shiba and this guy going forward, and then uh during this 1v1, Mashiro will get involved, and I think that's how Mashiro dies actually. Like I think Mashiro sacrifices himself to keep Shiba alive because like we saw the image, right? We saw the tape. We saw like the Irishima Talks incident. Shiba was actually injured, which is the other cool thing about this. We know that this is going to be probably Shiba's first on-screen fight. No off-screen, no me active here. Him actually having to fight a high-tier opponent and escape. And in fact, he may not even choose to escape. He might be forced to escape. Because with this whole pressure zone thing, Mashiro's sorcery, because it applies pressure, because it pushes things, propels things, you could easily have the fight going on, everything's going down, and Mashiro's like, nah, bro, one of us gotta live, and he tries to temporarily hold the dude in place, and then launch the Shiba off. Like, nope, you're gone. And Shiba's like, no, why do you send me? Because that's how I see this, man. Bro, exactly. Like the messenger, because you see, they already killed the delegate. They said we don't need the delegates; those are scrubs. The scrubs get to die. Oh, your fodder? Die. Because nobody cares about a message from fodder, right? Like, oh, they were so powerful, they killed our best guys. Ah! Nigga, you can't scale power. You're fodder. Everybody's strong. Everybody's strong. If Mashiro comes back, he's a high technique sorcerer, but he's not a high raw output sorcerer. So it's like, you're not fodder, you're a gatekeeper tier character. If you can't get through his raw tech, you're not a top tier, bro. He's a gatekeeper tier character. Gatekeeper tier characters are important. Gatekeeper tier characters are usually some of the coldest niggas on the roster because you know why they don't beat everybody. Like, oh, well, man, yeah, they lost, but that's because that nigga's OP. That's how you feel anytime a gatekeeper tier character dies or loses a fight. It's like, yeah, he lost, but I mean, shit, like he's still cooler than the other guy. But when Shiba loses, when Shiba goes back, it's like, wallahi, I'm finished. Shiba's back? With a broken arm? Niggas ain't hurt him since he was 13. What are we doing? Like, the best messenger is the last nigga standing. If you died within the first 30 minutes of this squabble, we don't need to. Cool, you were never the messenger we wanted to send because the messenger isn't important. The message they convey isn't important. Like what they say is not what you care about. It's what their very condition when they come back communicates. That's the real message. We can take on your best. We can kill anybody who is not as strong as this guy. Your champion lived at our mercy, bro. It's like the mercies of Mongol. For those of you who watch Young Justice back in the day, I tried to blast your planet with a laser, destroying it in 20 seconds. That was not appreciated. I was willing to hit you with a bunch of missiles to spoil your whole population. That was not appreciated. It seems the mercies of Mongol are not appreciated. Gotta appreciate the mercy of letting the strongest nigga live. Because now, you know what your real options are. Make niggas stronger than this nigga you sent. Or give me what I told you to give me. Those are your two choices. Two choices. Get stronger than this nigga today. Give me what I want. So, it's crazy that even in a mostly action-centered chapter, I'm still hitting 1 hour. But I may just be a certified yapper. It's probably a little bit of A and B. It's a little bit of A and B. But, I mean, shit, bro. This is some high-octane stuff. Bro. I understand it. Okay, so, like, on one hand, it's annoying that Shiba's first on-screen fight is going to be him losing. Like, that's a little like, bro, come on. But hear me out. It only makes him colder. Because it's like the only fight worth watching of Shiba is a fight that he loses when he was 17. Because Otto said, "No, this nigga's too cold, bro. I gotta, like, I gotta go back 20 years to show you a fight worth watching. I gotta go back 20 years. We gotta get in the Wayback Machine, bro. We gotta go back before he was a legal adult. We gotta go back to his child soldier days to show you a fight worth seeing." Like, think about that, bro. He said, "Hey, man, I want y'all to have something worth reading, bro. If you just watch it," because he's like, "Look, bro, I could give you 3 panels." Oh wait, he's 19. My bad. He's 19 now. He's 19 now. Sorry, I gotta show you back when he was a freshman in college. I gotta show you his YN days, as they like to say. First year in the military type shit. We going back to the rookie seasons. That's my point. We going back to them early days. Like I can't. Hey, he's 19, possibly about to lose to like a 50-year-old nigga, and he's not a main character. Like, he's not an MC, bro. He don't get that. You get to be 19, but stronger than a 40-year-old that's been grinding his whole life. This ain't Luffy versus Katakuri, where the 19-year-old gets to box the 52-year-old. Oh, let me make sure Katakuri is actually 52. He don't get that buff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Katakuri's 48 years old. So he doesn't get the 48-year-old versus the 19-year-old buff because the 19-year-old is a main character. You know what I'm saying? We all know that buff exists. Like, also though, like, this is the funny. Like, I will say that again. This is the funniest thing about like the world, and the thing that I like about some of these series too, is because like obviously when we talk about like, oh yeah, he's like 19. There's an experience delta, right? That like wisdom and like experience get like bridges, but this is season 2 LeBron, maybe first season LeBron, playing against Jordan, right? Like, come on, that's not fair. Like, it's fair in the sense that they're both competitors, but like prime MJ versus second season LeBron. I mean, dang, it'll be interesting to watch, but you're gonna see the experience, right? Like, it's like anybody who's played a video game that has been around for a while, right? Like, if you played a game that's been around for a while, you will be playing against somebody who is, as far as the community is concerned, a fucking scrub. Like, when I've played League since season 3, and every year, like, I played less and less ranked, and then like I took a break for a long time, and then I came back. I played against a legitimately new player like last year or the year before that, just because he was in a pre-made with his friends or something like that. And so he was like an actual level 11 dude. And I used to only play ranked until I was like top 50% of the player base, and then I would just stop playing ranked. So I've literally only ever bothered to grind up to average tier in League. Like the literal average. But if I play against a new player, a legitimately new player, I will make them question their whole life. Because they'll be like, man, this guy must be really high. What? And that's what he's experiencing right now. Like, he's not a full-blown new player. He's like level 20 on his account. You know what I'm saying? But this is a level, 300, 400 ass nigga he's playing against. He ain't got to be the greatest. He just knows way more, can do more than you. He just understands all the rules better. And it's like, to wrap your head around what that example that I'm mentioning, that new player, that nigga had 11 minions farmed at like 10 minutes because I was just beating his ass. That means he wasn't playing the game. That means he got 1 minion a minute for 10 minutes. And in reality, it was he got like 11 minutes within like minions within the first 4 minutes, and then didn't get to get another one for 6 to 7 minutes because I was just chain killing him, push him out. Sometimes it's like that, bro. When you play against people who have like way more experience, you just don't get to play the game. And so, like Shiba, he's going against somebody right now. He's got Dots and Seki buff. He's got age buff, like experience buff, and he's still gonna live. So yeah, he's gonna take an L, but it's an L with dignity. Wait, GD, did you play another movie? Did you successfully put another movie on? Uh, my daughter is watching Moana 2, and the movie ended on Disney Plus, and she walked up to the Xbox controller. Okay, no, she didn't play another movie. I was going to say, holy moly. She's currently walking around with a pretzel in her mouth like a cigar. Let me go hook her up real quick. Come here, little girl. Let's get you another movie. Ah, we are. All right, now the important question is there anything else cool in the Kagurabachi fandom that I need to be reacting to, watching, seeing? Any more animations released? Y'all my sources for the good shit. The video y'all had me watch last week was fucking crazy. Also, who else is making Kagurabachi videos? Any of the like big guys making them, or just us small creators out here doing bocce justice? Because like the only Kagurabachi creators I run into, I think are like super small and a couple people on TikTok, but that's about it. So I'm just curious if y'all got anybody that y'all been watching, because I feel like bocce's been underappreciated. Even though there was that big follow train last week, so that was kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, it feels like a lot of the big creators aren't gonna hop on this until there's an anime, and then they're gonna get like all the views that people who have been loving the series forever. I mean, Akamura fundamentally beats most of JJK. Like, okay, if you do the non-disingenuous version of power scaling, Akamura kind of rolls most of JJK. Just by the nature of his power being like an AoE, like life vitality slurp slurp machine. Um, yeah, he kind of just like kills a bunch of people. Just like it's another one of those things that like you just die for being in the area. And technically, unless you have very unique interactions, like I guess you could argue maybe domain amplification, because you have to do like at least a little bit of how could these powers interact with each other. Like, but I think that's one of the interesting things about Sakuna too. is that whether or not Sukuna is actually a threat to most people is entirely dependent upon their fighting style, right? Like, if Sukuna plays around a lot. So if Sukuna, you drop Sukuna in this verse, and for example, no version, actually any version possessed, like any possessed person, like if Sukuna is possessing your body and Samura fights you, Samura low diff Sukuna. Because he hard counters the concept. You are an irregularity within his body, therefore he can just like burn you out. At that point, what you're really arguing is like which scale of or like how many fingers of Sukuna would you need inside your body before Samura couldn't just evict him. Um, but now you like it's interesting. Okay, so this is actually something else that I find fascinating is that Sukuna is perceived as like the strongest character in the series because of the fact that he is like very powerful. But whenever you do like an across verse battle, like anytime, Gojo does better than Sukuna. Gojo's power does better in like almost every verse than Sukuna does. And I think that's so interesting. Like hell, Mahoraga technically does better in most verse battles than Sukuna. Because if you attempt to splatter Mahoraga and you don't destroy the wheel, and let's say you blitz him and you rip off like half his face, or like you punch like rip off like his body in half, and you're just like, all right, well that's it. He just gets to regen. You literally have to vaporize him in the first shot and know that in order to like kill him. So I think it's really fascinating that Sukuna scales so well within his verse. And like that's actually a really good way to write him as a character, in my opinion. Inverse scaling, insane. Outerverse scaling, unless he specifically opens with his domain, actually loses to a lot of people. Like the Sukuna usually doesn't just pop his domain at the start of a fight, so he loses to a lot of fights based off personality. Um, man, I'm eating the last bit of these crullers. I eat way too much gas station food these days, man. All right, Calcan. Yeah, there's like a guy on TikTok that I follow for Kagurabachi discussions, and that's about it. There's just not a lot of bocce creators out here. I guess that's okay, as long as people like actually give them time of day. Even though I think, I do think that the bocce fandom, like as I interact with more people, there is a heavy focusing on like ship discourse, which I don't care for that much. Like that's not my main reason I read the series. But I think if we get another big reveal sometime soon, we'll get more big reveal discussion. I'm always a big like lore drop guy, so that's what I'm invested in. Let's see. Well, yeah, I think as far as this goes, we already know next chapter. Maybe Mashiro is gonna get to live one more chapter. When we look at what Shiba's gonna be doing, um, the man's gonna be struggling, hoping he can survive. Um, I just don't think it's looking good for him. Shiba's gonna be escaping. I think Mashiro saved Shiba. Both Sogas are probably gone because we have had no emphasis on Mustache outside of him being able to like win a fight. Um, and specifically him being like, oh, like it's really hard to get through. So we've emphasized his weakness. I don't think we're spending much time on trying to make him look good, especially because we made it a point to emphasize that Hiroto stood apart from the rest of the Soga clan. So we're emphasizing that he stands apart. Any other Soka clan member is beneath him. Not worth wasting our time acknowledging another Soga that's just going to be inferior unless he's got a special hacks ability, is how I'm looking at this. And then as far as the they promised go, that's the part that I'm like most fascinated by. I hope we get a little more information on the Soga, not the Soga, the Mikaboshi religion here. And it's just clear that Akamura Soga has wielded everything about, like, to a certain degree. I think what the Shinichi is, and the reason why it's so broadly powerful, is that we know that the enchanted blades are reflections of their users partially. But what I think the Shunichi's intent actually was to, like, when it was created in perception, was to rival the power of the Mikaboshi. Like, it was specifically made with the Mikaboshi in mind and replicating what it gave to them. So the Mikaboshi used the Datsenseki as like a source of vitality, a home. You're tied to all these bugs because of its heavy ties to their interpretation, which is it brings life. It became the blade that was the ultimate taker of life, whereas the other ones are a bit more refined, have multiple different animals. And we even see that's something that I like too, is that the fact that Samura's blade is bird focused, but then we also see like there's like the butterfly user, you have the insect focus here, which is obviously them replicating the Mikaboshi. And so that's the goldfish. If you remember, the guy from the Rakizuchi, the Sazanami clan, when he was using the Datsenseki, he summoned like a jellyfish. So the spiritual manifestation of, like, the manifestation of your spirit energy is a thing that technically, if anybody with a large enough amp can do, which means everybody has like a spirit animal. It's just a matter of whether or not they are like refined enough in their sorcery that they can bring it out or manifest it or have a big enough amp to do that. Which, in a way, does bring credence to the notion that Flamebone could actually be tied to Hiyuki's sorcery, by the way. Because Flamebone could be like the true manifestation of her sorcery that she's just mastered, and then because of, some caveat or Kaminabi restrictions or fear of her going wild, she has restrictions on. So yeah, I think that's some stuff we got to look forward to. Also, easily see Mashiro, if he is going to die, managing to pull off a quick manifestation. Even the bonsai trees, right? If Hatshaku is actually as long lived as I think he is, then the bonsai trees are directly tied to the manifestation of his spirit power, and may not even actually be his sorcery, but just like the manifestation of what his sorcery looks like. And he's leveraging, such being like such a high level sorcerer to have these results, and basically use all of that as a red herring for his real power. But either way, I'm actually going to end the stream here because this chapter hasn't given me as much lore to work with. I appreciate everybody for coming through. Hope to see you next week. Hopefully, with me having a different job, because I have an interview tomorrow for round 2 of a job that I was looking at. That way I'm not doing as much door to door, and we may get some other content or at least other types of streams throughout the week again, because I do want to get back to doing stuff on this channel, TikTok, etc., way more often that my current work situation just doesn't allow. I even skipped a conference to do this stream today because I was like, I'm not going to that conference. It's not worth my time if I'm going to try to leave and not be stuck in this limbo forever. So appreciate you guys. As always, likes, comments, subscribes are always appreciated because YouTube algorithm rewards people for engagement. So when you comment on things, you get engagement. Like it like flags things as, hey, like people actually like these things. So yeah, appreciate you all. You guys have a great day. I'm out. Oh, actually, I'm glad I didn't end the stream. Yeah, they were having like a work conference on a Sunday. Here's the thing, right? I'm not going to stop the stream yet. I'm going to explain this. The company I work for sells internet, but they're a part of some weird network. It's basically an MLM. And I'm like, wow, this is an MLM. No wonder you guys have weird hiring practices. So it's an MLM that had a conference on a Sunday because I work Monday through Saturday, and I'm assuming everybody else is stuck doing that too, working door-to-door sales. Door-to-door sales is ass, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're basically hoping people are nice enough to invite you into their home, or you're in an area where you gotta like hope you can find a gas station nearby or something like that if you need to use the toilet, etc., etc. So yeah, I'm like, if I spend like 14 hours when you combine commuting plus like the actual time working and all the walking around plus day breakdowns, which is like boom, boom, boom. Like we have to do a breakdown here, da da da. Like there are times I get to work at like 10:30, 11, and I'm not getting home until 11 o'clock at night. And because it's commission only, there's a chance you could have a day where like nobody wants to buy internet. So you literally just spent 12 hours doing shit to not get paid. And then you want me to do Monday through Saturday, and you're asking me to come to a conference on a Sunday? An unpaid conference? Because it's a networking event? Fuck off, bro. I'm 33. I got a fucking kid. I want to actually spend time with my kid. I want to actually. Here's the thing: when you're like 21, maybe sinking your time into an MLM can be worth it. It's definitely not for me. It's definitely not worth it for me because the idea is that you're supposed to like eventually hire people to do sales. You stop doing sales to get enough people that do sales under you that you get paid off of their sales. But the guy that's running our office currently doesn't even have enough people under him. So he's still having to do sales, which is pretty much a good sign that that MLM chain is hitting that breakdown point where you're not, it's going to be way too difficult to get enough people to do sales to make it so that you don't actually have to do sales. And my goal is to do door to door. I'm not trying to spend a year to 2 years dropping 70, 80 hours on a system that like does not function. All these things have a critical mass. And on top of that, if you're selling, like we're selling internet, right? But because we're selling internet, there's a set amount of leads, right? So like the company that we're selling internet for uh, provides us with leads. So then you go to these areas, and then I've gone to an area, had like 102 houses be on my list, knocked on all these houses' doors, like over 102 houses, knocked on multiple of them like 2 to 3 times in a single day. And it was a waste of fucking time because like 20 of them already bought the product. They were not leads. They were already enrolled. They were not interested in buying more fucking service from these people. They already had what they wanted. And then there was other people who already had that shit less than 2 months ago that quit because they didn't get good enough service. So like half of these leads aren't even leads, bro. You already got them. You just want me double checking shit. So you're not even getting guaranteed quality leads either. So you're not getting quality leads. You're not getting guaranteed pay. It's just a bunch of fucking time. It's fucking insane, bro. But yeah, like job market is like ass. So you take what you can get, but then you try to find something else too while you're dealing with what you can get. So like, I gotta go do laundry so that my suit have a nice clean suit. Go to my interview tomorrow at like fucking 9 a.m. and then fucking make it a point to how do I put it? Like I'm still gonna go to work. I'm gonna go to my interview, even if they say you're hired. I'm gonna go to my work because I got one more check I need to get from them at least. Like, because I made like 12, 13 sales since being on the team. I need to get that check from them. We got some the people who are getting installed like Monday and Tuesday. Gotta make sure I get my last check. But yeah, fuck that system, bro. It's an MLM. MLMs are basically scams. They're not full blown scams, but they're very scam adjacent. And I'm good off that. I'm fucking good off that. Like I'd rather like be able to randomly do a stream on Don or something like that on a Monday or Tuesday than have my entire like 9 a.m. to fucking 10 p.m. revolve around a damn MLM for Monday through Friday, and then as bonus, be busy from like 9 a.m. and really it's like busy from like 7:30 in the morning until like 6 to 7 p.m. on Saturday. So like it's just nah, bro. Uh. Like 70 hours a week. I'm good. Too much time. Too much time. Not enough pay. Not enough time with my daughter. Not enough time to do chores around the house. And I'm not. Look, I cut down on doing stuff with my channel as I had a kid and got married and all that other stuff. And they're all like, "Oh yeah, like you gotta want this. This is the grind and make you a business." Like, buddy, this is motivating me to do more shit on my channel. That's what it's doing. More gaming streams, more manga streams, more discussions. It ain't motivating me to want to fucking sell AT&T. It ain't motivating me to want to sell Verizon. It's not motivating me to want to sell any of these products door to door. You know why? Because being a door to door salesman is being an asshole. Being a salesman in general is kind of being an asshole. It's like knocking on people's doors, disrupting their fucking day so you can ask them to buy some shit that they often don't want to buy. I live in Wisconsin, bro. Nobody wants fucking door-to-door people coming to their door here. Hell, half the year, nobody wants to be going door-to-door. Think about this shit, bro. Okay, on Monday, like Monday or Tuesday this week, it was like 75 fucking degrees. Balls sweating, sticking to your leg, humid out, lightning flashing by 6 p.m., tornado warnings, having to get home, massive lightning strikes and waters. Today it's like 38 degrees Fahrenheit. I have experienced summer and winter weather within the course of 3 weeks and had to go door to door and selling all of it. No. Anybody who tells you they love this shit, they love going door to door selling shit, is a fucking psycho. Yes. Grand Line weather in One Piece is just based off fucking Wisconsin, man. It's based off April in Wisconsin. And I keep telling people, guess what? Snow is still on the menu, nigga. Like, there are days we wake up and the snow is still frosted. 3 days ago, it was so foggy, it was like being in Stephen King's The Fucking Mist. Like, fuck. Like, is somebody wielding Cloud Gouger? I have a picture of a fucking lightning bolt arching in the sky that I took like 2 days ago. Next to what looked like it might have been the start of a funnel cloud. Because it's been like multiple tornadoes in the past like 3 weeks, like past week. Shit has been insane. In fucking insane. So yeah. Oh, and there's no insurance. I don't even have insurance for this company right now. So like I'm risking getting shot by lightning. I had a nigga answer the door with a gun in his hand yesterday. And he was hard of hearing. You think I was gonna walk up to the door and keep trying to talk to him? No. Nigga was elderly. I was like shouting from back here, like, oh, hey, you got Spectrum? I'm asking if you got Spectrum. I'm trying to see if you can upgrade your internet, get you looking nice. Came to the door like this. I'm like, oh shit, he's strapped. Why is he strapped on a Saturday morning? It's not that deep. But he lives in a house that has a fucking thing attached to it that says, motherfucking, I'm gonna sell this house, so you probably need to get the fuck out. So that nigga might have been ready to shoot his landlord. And might have shot me forward if I was too close to that door. Like, one of the houses that I knocked on an apartment building. And then I look, and in fucking crayon or pen or some shit, written on the door is a letter from a woman to a man that says, "Hey Brandon, this is Bree. You need to give me my kids back. It's my life you playing with, not yours. Da 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 da." Nigga, huh? I'm trying to knock on this door to sell internet. Knock, knock, knock. And you telling me motherfuckers are negotiating their child custody through crayon door notes? What the fuck am I doing here? Like, bro, like the first week, I was in a trap house. And I'm pretty sure the woman that we were trying to sell internet to was also selling pussy because the nigga came in, random ass old dude. She's like, I'll just go to the back. But she had a sign attached to her door that was like, if you leave this house without waking me up, you don't get to come back. And I'm like, why would you even have to put that sign on the inside of your house? Like, why? The other day, I was talking to a guy. He ended up being pretty cool. But he also had a Confederate flag in his garage. Like, shit, I was going up, like, I thought about knocking on this one door, right? I kid you not. I see the dog in the house. As soon as I touch the fence, the nigga bolts out, like, opens the door. I'm like, oh, yeah, y'all got it, bro. Yo dog is ready to fight. There's this one dog, like, bro, some of these niggas' dogs are crazy ass hostile, too. Like, you'll be walking down the street in that area where I was walking at 102 houses. This dog, every time if he saw me across the street, whoa, 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 whoa. If I'm knocking on the door next to his house, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm walking past, whoa, whoa, whoa. Nigga, you seen me 3 times already, 4 times, 5 times. Why are you still mad? I'm just here, bro. It's internet. I did have a funny nigga, except it was only funny because he ended up being joking. As I'm walking up to the door, before I can even knock, he goes, "They coming." Nigga, do you know what "they coming" means? That nigga yelled, "They coming." He implied I was the police. These niggas just had their door open. He said that shit. I threw my hands up and started running. And then I heard him laugh, and that's the only thing that stopped me from taking off for a solid 15 seconds. I was about to just go. It wasn't even his house, bro. He was at his sister's house. He's like, "Oh, bro, you hilarious. You already knew the move." But if he had said that shit and the people in that house took him serious, there's a chance I would have got popped through a window. Like, nigga, huh? That same day, I'm walking around doing door to door. I'm walking along that same street. And I hear some niggas getting hot. Hot on the block, bro. Yeah, no, bro, that's what I fucking said. I said that shit already. Da 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 da. I'm like, oh hell nah. Like, I'm talking to this woman. I'm like, yo, I'm honestly, you don't even gotta buy nothing. I'm just trying to talk to you and like have it like in case I need to like duck inside somewhere because just around the corner they get hot. I'm trying not to get caught in the crossfire. And the reason why I felt like I needed to clarify that because I was selling in that same area like 4 days prior on some different blocks. And while we were there doing a sale with this old man, 8 to 9 cop cars got called for like 2 blocks away. Nigga. Nigga. Am I tripping? Or does this just sound like some shit you just don't want to have to deal with? Like, am I crazy? Like, am I wrong for thinking you gotta be nuts to make this your way of living? Man. Yeah, I'm interviewing at RMK Buried Live shop tomorrow. That's the homie. We've been friends for almost 20 years now. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here, Ryan. Thank you for being here in my time of need and referring me to your job. I'm trying to get the fuck out of there. I'm so done with this fucking. By the way, RMK Buried Alive also does like gaming streams sometimes, so you should follow him for helping me out and being my friend for 20 years. And the thing is, bro, I was somewhere. This dude like put a fence up, and then I like took a picture because I realized he had chickens in his backyard. He's like, "What are you doing sneaking around?" I was like, "I'm not sneaking around. I noticed you guys had a little gate in front of your thing, so I decided not to move. But my wife likes chicken, so I was gonna send her a picture. Like, bro, I knocked on this dude's door. He was like, "You knocked on the door hard as shit." I was like, "Oh, my bad. Like, I didn't think I was knocking that hard." But, but, the, but also, this nigga had to say, "Oh, fuck that. I don't have any interest in the internet." Okay, you didn't even have to come out here, bro. But also, why do you live in a home that is occupied that has like 4 wasp nests at the top of your door? You not gonna do shit about that? You talking cash money with me, and you got 4 wasp nests on your front door. You already been hoed. You got 4 wasp nests growing on your front door, and you trying to talk cash money to a salesman? Nigga, kill yourself. Why you letting them hoe you? But I can't knock on your door, offer you fiber optic internet? That's where the line is drawn? Are we serious? What are we doing here? I did feel bad for the old lady though that I met that was like clearly a dementia patient, but she also found out that her husband was cheating on her. Bro, I was getting her whole life story. The nigga was abusive. He got mad at her because she wanted a job and told her that was the greatest insult she could ever like leverage against him. Because, but then the whole time this nigga had like a side baby mama, and he was desperate to go up north one day because more than likely his kid died with his fucking side chick. His side chick's kid that he had with her died in a car accident. Then on top of that, bro, she got a letter in the mail because that nigga died 5 years ago, like a week ago, or maybe like 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago now. I don't know. She got a letter about a bank account, a secret bank account this nigga had with $45,000 in it, and because he was so good at hiding this shit, he didn't even put her name on it. It just said Mrs. Like there was like, we know he got a wife. We don't know what her name is though. He just got $45,000 of this nigga money sitting here. We got to get it to whoever his missus is. Like nigga, huh? She kept saying, "Oh, he was very Greek. He was very Greek." That's what she kept saying. He was old school Greek. And then it was like, now my son lives with me, and I never thought that would be the case because he hated me growing up. I never hit my kids, but I slapped them with my mouth. And I was like, "Ooh, that's a red flag." But then she said that he said something after the husband died, and she actually did slap the shit out of him because he said something out of pocket. And then he drove and left and didn't talk to her for 2 years. Now he's living on her couch. She asked him, "Why are you traveling up to Appleton and having to pay money to live in hotels and then coming back here for the weekend? You basically make $20 a week with the way you living. That don't even make sense. Get a different job, nigga." And then get this. Like, I'm trying not to like, you know, just be like, "All right, bro, I'm abandoning you, old lady with dementia." Bro, by the way, she came to the door and told me she had arrhythmia halfway through this like 30-minute conversation. So she out here straining her heart to have a nice conversation with somebody who doesn't fucking hate her. So now I'm sitting here like, do you need me to help you get back to your chair? Do you need me to make sure you can sit down and be good? Like, I'm just trying to I'm here to sell internet, but I worked at a nursery for 6 years. So now I don't feel comfortable just watching this old lady like have to like, nah, bro. I don't want this old lady to have a heart attack and die to talk to me about internet or her family, because that's not really what I'm out here to do. But like, I'll do it because you're an old lady and you need somebody to talk to very clearly. And then, so like, after that, woo, woo, yeah, she goes sit down. Finally get her to, understand that the conversation needs to end. I'm gonna go do this. She sits down. I go next door, and it's another old lady. She is also looking for long ass conversation, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't do that because I lost a lot of time. I don't want my boss can see like my minutes, da 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 da. So I gotta keep it moving quick." But she was like, "Yeah, she had a terrible husband and a rotten son. They live next door to each other. That her son is such an asshole that old woman with the arrhythmia and the $45,000 sitting there in some account that her husband hid from her has not talked to her next door neighbor in over a year, bro." Like, that's how wild this nigga is. It's insane, bro. Like, everybody got a story. And I appreciate learning their stories, but holy shit. It's a lot going on in this world. I'm just trying to look, bro. I want my job to just be like I show up, I guarantee make some money, I go home and do some shit that I actually care about. I don't like these like humanity pop quizzes I'm experiencing where it's like, yeah, you're out here to make sales, but this is also a test of your character. Are you a decent enough human being to recognize that this person is in a severe emotional need and be there for them? I'm not mean enough to do sales anyway. Like, I can't oversell people, bro. I can't do it. I have ethics. I have morals. I have rules. I might be willing to say kill yourself, but shit, I still have rules. That's just me being a gamer. And I wasn't even always that mean. Like I was mean in other ways. You could ask Ryan, but like, damn. Like I'll talk to somebody and be like, what do you have going on? Do. Cool. Here's the cheapest plan. You only watch Netflix. You don't need a gig of internet. I'm not gonna sell you a gig of internet. That's a waste of your money. Get this one. It's $40 a month for the first year. Make sure you have the auto pay on. Gonna go up to 55. Then you're locked in. But yeah, if you want some fiber optic internet, DM me. I'll see where you live. I'll see if we got internet in your area. And if we do, I'll give you like the $40 a month bundle depending on what your internet needs are. If they play in your face, I'm gonna try to get rid of this job anyway. I don't care if you cancel after I quit. So, yeah. Um, damn. I wasn't even planning on venting about that. Somebody gonna throw this VOD on? Like this VOD is gonna autoplay for some human being out there. And they're gonna wake up to me yelling about this shit. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought I was watching a Kagurabachi stream. I don't think I've ever seen this name in the chat, but me talking about Brewski777. So ATTU versus Door to Door here in Ohio a decade ago. Pretty much came away with the same sentiments as you. Yes, all because you asked about the conference on a Sunday. Cause that's audacious as shit, nigga. It's an unpaid conference. Unpaid. Like this dude was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" And I was like, "Look, man, I don't rock with the fact that I can go outside, end up walking around for 5 to 6 hours, have a bunch of doors slammed in my face, have like 3 people fail a credit check, have somebody decide they don't want to pay $20 for a down payment because they're that broke, have somebody be like, wow, I spend $240 a month on cable and internet, and you just offered me a $140 internet and cable package that will meet my needs. I refuse to switch because I'm just comfortable where I'm at, even though I'm over the age of 65, retired, and on a fixed income." Like, bro, I'm dealing with actual fucking idiots sometimes. Like, just save yourself $1,000 a year. Like, that's the thing about sales that's crazy is that, like, sometimes it's like, oh, I'd have to be an asshole to sell to you. And then sometimes it's like, you're a fucking moron because you're not buying from me. And I can't tell you that because that guarantees you don't buy. But explaining this shit in a way that actually makes coherent sense doesn't work with your idiot fucking brain. Like, oh, I think mommy's phone is dead. Oh, yep. Here, take this to mommy. She's got to put it on the charger, okay? Say, mommy, please charge the phone. And that example of $140 package with $220, like, real thing that happened. Let's save this nigga $80 a month. No, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at. All right, bro. All right, bro. It's canon. You are a fucking moron. Like, so yeah. That's why I don't like doing sales though. Like if I ever do sales, like look, the only way I'm ever gonna go back to doing door to door sales, if I can get this other job, is if I'm like actually desperate. Yeah, bro. Like you'll go somewhere and then like you're talking to somebody that's like, oh, this person doesn't even speak English, and I don't speak enough of whatever. Like I ran into somebody who was speaking like some like it wasn't Cantonese, it was some other like South Asian language, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I wish I knew what you were saying because I'd like to ask you if you could. Okay. My daughter is so devastated that her mom's phone died that she ran in here and threw the phone towards me, then ran in the room with her mom, who could charge the phone, and closed the door. Dog, 3-year-olds are so fucking funny, dude. And that's the thing, right? All my coworkers vape. They all vape nicotine. And there's a part of me that's like, bro, give me your fucking nicotine. This shit is pissing me off. But I'm like, no, I don't need to go back to that life. I don't need to vape. I don't need to vape. Like, I don't smoke anymore. I basically don't drink anymore. And that's probably making this job worse. Because I don't do any fucking vices. But like, also, there's no world in which I can be like, I objectively didn't make any money today. I'm okay with this. Because nigga, the fuck you mean I just spent 10 hours doing this shit? Nigga, my feet hurt. My Fitbit just told me I did 20K steps. And not a single one of you bitch ass niggas bought something from me? Burn it all down. So yeah, I don't want to have those feelings, bro. These feelings are not the feelings of like a person should want to have or desire to have. Yeah. Wish me luck in my interview tomorrow. And then I'm going to still go to work after that interview, even if they hire me on the spot. Because there's still a chance to make some money. And I want to make sure that, I have a conversation with them. Like, look, it's not even y'all. It's a compatibility of lifestyles and a lack of consistent payment. Also, y'all don't have things like PTO or 401ks. And the fact that we knock on people's doors and niggas can open the door with guns, have poorly trained dogs, and all kinds of other shit. And we don't do day one insurance is fucking insane and not the kind of shit that I feel like dealing with. I've worked like a real job for the past 10 years. And to me, a real job is the one that has a 401k, health insurance, and PTO. Like, if you don't have those three things, it's not a real job to me. I don't know. That's just how I look at it. But yeah, so that's for my non-American audiences. That's what door-to-door sales life is like. Dude, I haven't told them like, look, if you say, "Oh, start tomorrow," I'll do it. And if you say, "Oh, like a week," okay, cool, I'll be nice. But yeah, now I'm gonna end the stream. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Appreciate you, Ryan, especially because, yeah, trying to get out of here. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna go do laundry so I can make sure my suit is clean, and then maybe play a little bit of video games. Go to sleep, and make sure I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for my interview tomorrow. Hopefully, I will not be telling you a story about some nonsense like this. And I hope Lucas has learned that asking questions could get you